The hallway smelled like floor wax and old shame. Marcus didn't flinch when the hand shoved his shoulder. Didn't stumble when Sergeant Travis Holbrook, 6'2", buzz cut sharp enough to cut glass, chest full of ribbons he pointed at like proof of worth, stepped into his space. "Show me one medal." Travis's voice echoed off the polished floors of the Veterans Affairs Community Center. "One. Just one piece of evidence you ever served anything but cafeteria lunches." Marcus's grip tightened on the mop handle. His uniform, navy blue, name patch reading, Marcus Webb, Facilities, was damp at the collar. He'd been cleaning since 6 a.m. No gasp, no trembling lip, just silence, heavier than rage. Travis leaned closer. His breath smelled like the beer he'd probably started drinking at noon. "That's what I thought. Stolen valor wannabe. You probably bought that veteran parking permit off eBay." Other vets had gathered now. 3 of them. Travis's usual crew. Men who spent their afternoons at the center playing cards, swapping stories, wearing their service like armor. Marcus studied Travis's face. The sneer that came too easily. The eyes that needed someone smaller to notice him. "I see," Marcus said quietly, and he turned back to his mop bucket. "Don't walk away from me." Travis grabbed his shoulder again. Harder this time. That's when the door at the end of the hallway opened. Bootsteps. Measured. Deliberate. Everyone turned. The man who entered wore Class A dress uniform. Army. 4 stars gleaming on each shoulder. Ribbons covering his left chest. Rows of them. Each representing battles Travis Holbrook had only read about. General Raymond Porter stopped walking. His gaze swept the hallway. Landed on Travis's hand, still gripping Marcus's shoulder. "Sergeant Holbrook," the general said. His voice was quiet. The kind of quiet that made noise feel obscene. "Remove your hand." Travis released Marcus like he'd been electrocuted. 72 hours earlier, the Veterans Affairs Center on Milwaukee's north side served 300 former service members monthly. Support groups, job training, a food pantry, a place where men and women who had worn the uniform could find community when civilian life felt like foreign territory. Marcus had worked there for 11 years. He arrived before dawn, left after dark, cleaned floors, fixed leaky faucets, repaired broken chairs, restocked supplies, asked for nothing, spoke to few. The younger vets barely noticed him. To them, he was part of the furniture. The old black man who mopped up after their meetings, emptied their trash, nodded politely when they passed. Travis Holbrook had noticed him, though. Travis had been coming to the center for 6 months. Honorable discharge after 4 years in the Army. Supply specialist. Stationed in Germany. No combat deployment. But he wore his service like a crown. He'd started the questions 3 weeks ago. "You serve?" he'd asked Marcus one afternoon, watching him scrub graffiti off the bathroom wall. "Yes," Marcus had answered. "What branch?" "Army." "When?" "Long time ago." Travis had studied him. The gray at Marcus's temples. The reading glasses hanging from a chain around his neck. The wedding ring worn thin. "Vietnam." Marcus had paused, then nodded. "Huh." Travis's tone shifted. Something skeptical. "You don't talk like most Vietnam vets." Marcus had returned to scrubbing. Everyone's different. But Travis wouldn't let it go. He'd started watching Marcus, asking other vets if they knew his story. No one did. Guy claims he served, but won't say where. Won't say what unit. Probably lying. The seed planted. Watered with boredom and beer. By week 2, Travis was openly hostile. Comments about fake vets. Loud conversations about stolen valor whenever Marcus entered a room. Marcus never responded. Just worked. Which only made Travis angrier. On Tuesday morning, Marcus had arrived to find his locker vandalized. Someone had spray-painted "liar" across the door. He'd cleaned it himself. Said nothing to management. On Wednesday, Travis had accidentally knocked over Marcus's mop bucket. Twice. Marcus had refilled it. Kept working. Thursday morning. Today, Travis had arrived drunk. And when Marcus had walked past him in the hallway, carrying cleaning supplies toward the conference rooms, Travis had decided it was time for a confrontation. "Show me one medal." The shove. The audience. The moment Marcus's dignity was supposed to shatter. Except dignity forged in jungle firefights and prison camps didn't shatter easily. It just waited. And now General Raymond Porter, commander of U.S. Army North, 3 Bronze Stars, 2 Purple Hearts, a man whose name appeared in history books, stood in that hallway. And he was looking at Travis like something that needed disposal. "Sergeant Holbrook," the general repeated. My office. Now. Sir, I was just, now. Travis went pale. He glanced at Marcus once, then hurried down the hallway after the general. The other vets scattered like smoke. Marcus stood alone with his mop. He exhaled slowly, dipped the mop back into the bucket, and resumed cleaning, as if nothing had happened at all. The general's office was a conference room the VA had cleared for his visit. Travis stood at attention, sweat darkening his collar. General Porter sat behind a folding table, utterly still. Explain, Porter said. Sir, there's a janitor here. Claims he's a veteran, but he won't talk about his service. Won't show proof. I've seen stolen valor before, and his name. What? The janitor's name, Sergeant Marcus Webb, sir. Porter's expression didn't change, but something in the room's temperature dropped. Describe your interaction with Mr. Webb. I asked him to provide evidence of service. He refused. I was trying to protect the integrity of. You put your hands on him. Travis faltered. I may have. It wasn't aggressive, sir. You grabbed him, shoved him, in front of witnesses, while intoxicated. Sir, am I wrong, Sergeant? Silence. Am I wrong? No, sir. Porter stood, walked to the window overlooking the parking lot, his hands clasped behind his back. Do you know why I'm here, Sergeant Holbrook? I know, sir. I'm here to dedicate the new memorial wing, a space honoring Wisconsin veterans who served in Vietnam. Specifically, those who were POWs. Travis's stomach twisted. The memorial features 12 names. Men from this state who endured captivity, torture, conditions you and I can't fathom. Porter turned. Marcus Webb is one of those names. The room tilted. Mr. Webb was a door gunner with the 1st Cavalry Division. His helicopter was shot down outside Hue in 1968. He spent 4 years in a North Vietnamese prison camp. For years, Sergeant. He was 23 when they took him, 27 when he came home. Travis couldn't breathe. He was awarded the Silver Star, the Bronze Star with Valor, 2 Purple Hearts, the Prisoner of War Medal. Porter's voice was surgical. He declined a promotion to officer, refused a desk assignment, went back to his unit the moment he was cleared. I didn't, sir. I didn't know. You didn't ask. Porter stepped closer. You saw a black man with a mop and decided he couldn't possibly be what he was. So you harassed him, humiliated him, put your hands on a man who survived things that would have broken you in an afternoon. Sir, please, I'm not finished. Ice now. Pure ice. Marcus Webb left the Army in 1971. He came home to a country that spit on him, called him baby killer, denied him jobs because of his skin. He worked construction, drove trucks, and for the last 11 years, he's cleaned floors at this center because it's the only place that felt like home. Travis's eyes burned. He never told anyone what he did, never asked for recognition, never wore his medals. Do you know why? Travis shook his head. Because men like him don't need you to believe them. They know who they are. Porter returned to the table. Saturday. You have 2 choices, Sergeant. 1. You leave this building now. You don't come back. You don't speak about this. You disappear quietly. Or I make a phone call. Milwaukee PD investigates your assault of a decorated veteran. The VA files a formal complaint. Your discharge status gets reviewed for conduct violations. And every vet in this building learns exactly what you did. Travis's knees almost gave out. Choose. I'll leave, Travis whispered. Louder. I'll leave, sir. You have 10 minutes. Go. Travis turned for the door. Stopped. Sir, can I apologize to him? No. But you don't get to ease your conscience, Sergeant. You get to live with it. Now get out of my sight. Travis left. Porter sat alone in the conference room, jaw tight, hands folded. Then he stood and walked back into the hallway. Marcus was still there, still mopping. Mr. Webb. Marcus looked up. General. A moment. I'm working, sir. I'm aware. Porter waited. Marcus set the mop aside, wiped his hands on his uniform. They walked to an empty office. Porter closed the door. I'm sorry that happened. Marcus shook his head. Wasn't your fault. It was my responsibility. This is a VA facility. You should be safe here. I am safe. Marcus, General. Marcus's voice was firm, gentle. I've been disrespected by better men than Travis Holbrook. I survived worse than wounded pride. I don't need you to fight this battle. Porter studied him. The gray hair, the weathered face, the eyes that had seen things no ceremony could honor. The dedication is tomorrow, Porter said. Your name will be on that memorial. I'd like you to attend. I'm scheduled to work. I'll clear it with your supervisor. Marcus hesitated. Please, Porter added. Quietly. Finally, Marcus nodded. Okay. Thank you. Porter extended his hand. Marcus shook it. When Porter left, Marcus returned to his mop. But this time, his shoulders sat a little differently. Lighter maybe, or just differently carried. The memorial dedication was scheduled for 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Marcus almost didn't go. He stood in his apartment that morning. Small place, clean, photos of his late wife on every surface, and stared at the closet. His classy uniform hung in the back. Hadn't been touched in 11 years. He told himself he didn't need it anymore. That part of his life was sealed away. Service was something he'd done, not something he was. But his hands reached for it anyway. The jacket still fit. Barely. The ribbons were attached exactly as regulations required, though the colors had faded slightly. He didn't wear the medals. Those stayed in a box his wife had kept, the box he couldn't open after she died. Just the uniform. He arrived at the VA center at 9:45. The parking lot was full. News vans. Families. Veterans in dress uniforms forming neat rows. Marcus parked in the back. Walked slowly toward the entrance. A volunteer stopped him. Young woman, clipboard. Sir, are you family of one of the honorees? On Marcus Webb. Her eyes widened. Oh, sir, please, come with me. She led him through the crowd to a roped-off area near the memorial's covered entrance. 11 other men sat there. Old now. Some in wheelchairs. All wearing uniforms that fit differently than they once had. One man looked up as Marcus approached. His face split into a grin. Webb? Marcus Webb. Marcus froze. Stared. Danny Ortiz. The man stood, slower than he'd once moved, but steady, and pulled Marcus into a hug that smelled like Old Spice and memory. They told me you might not come, Danny said. Stubborn as ever, huh? Marcus's throat tightened. You look old. You look older. Danny laughed. Sit. We saved you a spot. The ceremony began. General Porter spoke about sacrifice, about men who'd endured the unendurable, about a nation's debt. Then he called each name. 11 men stood when summoned, shook hands, accepted framed certificates. When Porter said Marcus Webb, the applause was loudest. Marcus stood, walked to the podium. Porter handed him the certificate, shook his hand. Thank you for your service, Porter said, loud enough for the microphones. Marcus nodded, started to return to his seat. Wait, Porter said. He gestured to someone offstage. A younger officer appeared, carrying a folded flag and a wooden box. Porter opened the box. Inside, Marcus's silver star, his bronze star. The medals he'd left in that box in his apartment because wearing them felt like asking for something. These belong to you, Porter said quietly. Not hidden, not forgotten. Marcus stared at them. His hands trembled as he took the box. The crowd stood. Applause rolled like thunder. Marcus scanned their faces. Veterans, families, strangers. And near the back, he saw the younger vets from the center. The ones who'd ignored him, walked past him, never asked. They were standing too, some crying. After the ceremony, people wanted to talk, thank him, shake his hand, take photos. Marcus endured it with quiet grace, the way he'd endured everything. But when the crowd thinned, Danny Ortiz found him again. You still working here? Danny asked. Every day. As a janitor. Honest work. Marcus. Danny's voice softened. You don't have to hide anymore. Marcus looked at him. His friend. His brother from another life. I'm not hiding, he said. I'm just living. Danny nodded slowly. Fair enough. They stood together, watching families explore the memorial. Names etched in stone. Stories briefly told. You ever regret it? Danny asked. Coming home to all this. Marcus thought about Travis Holbrook. About the spray-painted locker. About every job he'd been denied. Every room he'd entered where people saw only his skin. No, he said finally. I didn't serve for gratitude. I served because it needed doing. That's always been your problem, Danny said. You're too damn noble. Marcus smiled. I'm really not. Monday morning, Marcus returned to work. Same navy blue uniform. Same mop. Same 6 a.m. start. But when he entered the building, people looked at him differently. The receptionist stood. Mr. Webb. Good morning. Veterans nodded as he passed. Some saluted. Marcus nodded back. Kept walking. In the break room, Someone had left a note on his locker. "Thank you for your service. I'm sorry I didn't see you before." James Marcus folded it, put it in his pocket. He filled his mop bucket, added the pine-scented cleaner, and pushed it down the hallway. The floors still needed cleaning. The bathrooms still needed attention. Nothing had changed. Everything had changed. That afternoon, as he emptied trash in the conference rooms, he passed the memorial wing. His name was there. Bronze letters. Permanent. He paused, read it once, then continued working. At 4 p.m., his supervisor found him. Older white man, decent sort, perpetually tired. "Marcus, can we talk?" They went to the office. "I'm promoting you," his supervisor said. "Facilities manager. More pay. Office. You'd supervise the cleaning crew." Marcus was quiet. "You don't have to keep doing this. You've earned better." "I like what I do," Marcus said. "But I'm good at it. It's useful, and I'm not ashamed of it." His supervisor leaned back, studied him. "Okay," he said finally, "but the pay raise stands. You're a decorated veteran. You should be compensated fairly." Marcus nodded. "That's fair." They shook hands. That evening, Marcus sat in his apartment. The metal box sat open on the table. He touched the silver star gently. His wife's photo smiled at him from the shelf. She'd been so proud, so tired of him hiding. "You're a hero, Marcus. Stop acting like you're not." "I'm just a man, Sarah. You're my man. That's hero enough." He closed the box. Tomorrow he'd wake at 5 a.m., make coffee, drive to the center, clean floors, and maybe, when someone asked if he'd served, he'd tell them. Not for applause, not for recognition, just because it was true. Marcus Webb had survived a war, survived captivity, survived coming home to a country that didn't want him, and he'd kept living anyway, kept working, kept showing up. That was its own kind of valor, the kind that didn't need medals, but deserved them all the same. He stood, made himself tea, sat by the window. Milwaukee glowed softly below. Tomorrow would come. He'd be ready. He always was.